Hey, and welcome to Girl Be Free, a podcast designed to help women get unstuck and cultivate the life you want on your terms. I'm Siobhan, your host, and I'm passionate about empowering women to live their best life. Each week, you'll hear pep talks that will inspire and push you to take action so you too can start to be free and live the life you want. You can learn more about me at befreeproject.com. Now let's jump into the show. This episode of the Girl Be Free podcast is being sponsored by the Be Free Inner Circle, an exclusive online community where positive, like-minded women gather, connect, support, and learn how to cultivate the life they deserve. The Be Free Inner Circle membership includes live monthly group coaching calls and office hours, masterclasses and workshops that will cover topics such as consistency and discipline, self-care, and creating a vision for your life, just to name a few. A resource library where you can print out articles, worksheets, and workbooks. A book club so that we have a space to discuss some of our favorite books. And the most important part is accountability and community support from women who are on the same wavelength as you and that are on a similar path who wants to be free. And a bonus feature, every member of the Be Free Inner Circle will have access to my live, in-person monthly Be Free meetups where you'll be able to view live stream right from your computer screen. So I know you're excited and you want to be a part of the Be Free Inner Circle. So don't worry, I got you covered. Just go to befreeinnercircle.com to learn more and sign up today. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Be Free podcast. Y'all, it is early in the morning. It's about 6:04 a.m. that I'm recording this episode because I have a networking event to attend a little bit later and a number of other things to do. And if you're following me on Instagram at Be Free Project, I shared yesterday how the last 6 days have been jammed packed, from getting my children ready for homeschool, hosting 2 events, grocery shopping. I mean, seriously, the list can go on and on. And I was like, well, I definitely got to get an episode out this week, so I have to get up a little bit earlier. And so, yeah, that is what I'm doing. So y'all give me a pat on the back or something for being up early recording this episode. So as always, let me share what I'm loving this week. And this week is really simple. I love that I get to do what I love to do. Like I share with you ladies all the time how I am in purpose, and it's just such a liberating and rewarding feeling to be able to wake up every morning knowing that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, that I am in flow, and that everything that I'm doing it to help other people. And so I'm really grateful for that. And I love that I'm in this space because it took a long time to get here. I feel like it took a long time, but I guess if I look at my life overall, it hasn't been that long. But this is something that I prayed and prayed and prayed and begged God for. Like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? What is the calling on my life? How can I start to make an impact in others' lives? And I shared on a previous episode, I think the one when I talked about purpose or maybe even therapy, is that I had to heal first. And now that I'm healed and I'm, still working on myself, and then now I get to do what I've been begging God for, to be in purpose. Like I'm so in love with my life right now. And it has nothing to do with like money, but just having this, just having something in my life that makes me feel alive. And when I get the feedback from you guys, whether you're leaving a review on the podcast, or you're DMing me on Instagram, or you're shooting me an email, or you're sending me a message on Facebook saying thank you, or you're attending my events that I have every month, or you're a part of the Be Free Inner Circle, or you comment or like, things that I, share on social media, or I see you in person and you want to hug me, or you're in tears because you can't believe like you are meeting me, which I think is like, wow. Like, y'all, I love that I get to do what I love. And I'm sharing that this morning because I want to inspire someone who's listening that you too can get to this space where you feel really good about the life that you're living. And of course, it takes a lot of work, but what else would you be doing? So that is what I'm loving this week, that I get to do what I love to do every single morning. So, or excuse me, every single day. And so waking up early this morning to record a podcast, I'm like, all right, let's get it popping. Let's make it do what it do, right? So I can move on to the next thing. Like I am getting this energy or this thing that's in me, like I'm getting it out to the world, and that it's going to impact someone's life in some kind of way. And for that, I am forever grateful. All right, so on to today's topic, which is how I manifested Beyonce in my life. And no, this is not just clickbait or anything like that. Like, this is serious. So, manifestation has been a part of my life for some time now, especially as I walked into like my purpose and figuring out what I was supposed to do. I started speaking life like over the things that I wanted. And I talk about this all the time, whether you see me in person or you listen to me on the podcast, how I am a firm believer in speaking what you want out loud, like saying it and then believing in it and just putting it out in the universe. And so I've shared many times before, like I think when I started Be Free Project in 2014, from the moment I started, I said, you know what? One day I want to speak at Essence Fest. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I want to do that. I also started saying that one day I want to have my own space where instead of me renting out spaces to host my events, I own my own space. That's similar to Busboys and Poets, if you've ever been there. Like, that's my inspiration. I've also been speaking that I want to travel the world, speaking to women all over about what it means to be free and live your life and go from feeling stuck to unstoppable. Like, that is what I desire to do. I want to build a legacy for my children. So this business that I'm building outlives me and I have something to pass on. So I speak these things all the time. And I don't speak them just because, oh, let me just say something. No, I actually believe that it's going to happen. And so I don't know how, again, I don't know when, but I just know that the things that I desire in my heart, the things that I want because I want it, because I feel a connection to it, I am a firm believer of saying it out loud, believing that it's going to happen eventually someday. I don't know when, and then moving on with my life. All right. And so to tie this into like Beyonce, so I shared this story I shared it on Instagram. Again, if you're not following me, go ahead and do that at Be Free Project. And you can also follow this podcast on Instagram as well at Girl Be Free Podcast. But I share this story. So this past weekend, I hosted a Be Free meetup in Cleveland. And towards the end, I went around the room and I asked everyone, like, what is your biggest takeaway? Or what did you enjoy about the experience? Just kind of closing it up. And so one of my friends, Hadassah, she was like, well, what can we do for you? And y'all, let me be honest, it's very rare that someone asks me that. So I was at a loss for words and I was like, I don't know. And so my friend Brittany, hey B Fails, she was like, she's going to New Orleans for this self-care retreat in a couple of weeks. She wants to see Beyonce in concert. And I was like, Brittany, what? And so, and she was like, if each of y'all cash app her right now $10, she'll have enough money to purchase her ticket. So let me back up a little bit. Beyonce, the first leg of her U.S. tour was in Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. And I wanted to go so bad, like seriously so bad. However, to be totally honest, it just wasn't in the budget at all. And so I was scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Instagram while she was here. And I feel like everybody and their mama was at the concert except me. I mean, everyone. And so I'm watching these videos. I'm watching people get ready. They're complaining about the traffic and then they're just blown away at the concert. And I'm like, man, like my heart hurt. Like I was sad because anyone that knows me knows that I am a huge Beyonce fan, a huge fan. And to not be at the concert was like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe I am not there. I've been to 4 concerts. Like I love her music, all of that. But I said, you know what? I am going to be there. I am going to be there when I go to New Orleans because I found out that she was going to be there for her concert in New Orleans on September 13th, which is when I will be there for this retreat. And I said, you know what? I'm going when I get to New Orleans. Y'all, I didn't know how. I didn't know when. I didn't know what was going to happen at all. I just said, I am going to be there. And then I kept going with my life. I shared it with a few people and kept it pushing. So again, back to the Be Free meetup, Brittany knew that I wanted to go. However, we didn't plan that or anything like that. Totally, definitely would never do that. And that's not even my character, right? To just do anything. However, she knows, and a lot of the people that are connected to me know how much I love Beyonce and how hard I've been working my butt off to build Be Free project into the vision that I have for it. And she was like, okay, like if everyone, gives $10, she'll have enough to buy her ticket. And also, let me put this in there. There is a group of ladies that are attending the retreat with me that had started a thread and they were going. And at the time that they put out that they were going, I'm like, I can't, it's just not in the budget to get the ticket right now. And so that was like, oh man, now I know people that's going and I'm not going. And so, y'all, by the end of that night, I had $130 to buy my ticket. And when all the guests were gone, Brittany and I were still at the event chit-chatting or whatever. She was like, let's get your ticket right now. And so we went online and we purchased my ticket. And I am in a very good section where I'm facing the stage. And ironically, the group that's already going, they're sitting they're in section 301. I'm in section 311. So I'm only a few rows back from the group. And when I think about this, I'm like, whoa, like I manifested this. Because even though I couldn't attend when she was in Cleveland, it wasn't meant for me to attend it then. It was meant for me to go when I go to New Orleans so I can have that full experience. And anyone that knows me also knows that I love New Orleans as well. And I was like, I spoke this into my life. Like I believed that it was going to happen. I just didn't know how. So when I think back, like number one, let me just pause here and say, I am ever so grateful for people believing in my vision, right? And then caring enough about me to say, we want to see you there. Like you pour so much into us every day that we want to do something nice for you. And that just means the world to me. It really does, because I don't take that lightly. And then now to know that I was able to not get all of my feelings when she was here, but believe in my heart that I was going to be there. And now my friend Brittany was like, all right, now that you got your ticket, you're going to be in VIP. And I'm like, all right, let's manifest VIP for my life, right? So I wanted to share that story because number one, I'm a firm believer in manifestation. It works. It works. It works. And this is not the first thing. There's been many things that I have spoken over my life and I have watched it come full circle. And now I'm believing God for even more. Like not just like thinking small things, but how can I think even bigger and stretch myself so that God can see that I'm ready for whatever he wants to bless me with. Like I am ready, I am available, and I promise to do the work. And so I get I don't want to say a lot of questions, but I've talked about manifestation before, especially in my group. And it's not just wishing for something. It's not just saying, oh, I want this one day. No, when it comes to, and I'm going to share some practical things too with you, but when it comes to manifestation, you really got to believe that the things that you desire in your heart, that it can happen for you. Because if you don't believe it, it ain't going to happen. Right? So if you say, oh, one day I want to buy a house, but then you don't believe that you can really have it or you deserve it, guess what? It's not going to happen. So you have to be bold enough to ask for what you want. You have to be bold. And so I am learning, thanks to my friends that believe in me very strongly, like I have to be bold enough to say, this is what I want, and this is why I want it, and this is why I deserve to have it, right? And not necessarily speaking to people so much, but just putting it out in the universe and then watching things come full circle. So, manifestation isn't just about wishing for something, it's speaking what you want, believing it can happen, and then you continue doing the work. Now, if you, again, you can't just hope and wish for something without any action behind it. Like you have to align your action with your words. One thing, and y'all know this is what I talk about all the time on the podcast. Many people, and this is why I call myself a clarity cultivator and why I'm so determined to help women figure out like what is it that you want for your life. Like, how can you manifest things into your life if you don't even know what you want? And there are millions of people walking around day in and day out with no clue what they want for their life. And so, if you want to manifest something, first of all, you need to take time and figure out, well, what do you want? What do you want for your life? And not being afraid to think it, to believe it, to say it. Like, what do you want? And I challenge the ladies in the Be Free Inner Circle. If you attend my events, I'm always saying, what do you want for your life? And this is a question that I had to ask myself very early on when I felt stuck, when I felt hopeless, and I just felt like there was more to my life than the life that I was living. I had to get very real with myself and say, okay, well, what do you want? You can say all day what you don't want, but what do you want? And then as I got clear about, well, I want to, impact women. I want to have my own business. I want to use my gifts. Now I give the universe something to work with. But if I'm not saying what I want, then how can anything move? How can anything happen? So I challenge you as well. Like, number one, you have to figure out, what do you want for your life? And that takes time, that takes sitting in silence, that takes prayer, that takes meditation, that takes journaling. It takes doing the work. That means you may have to log off of social media. You may have to tell your friends, I can't hang out with you. I mean, there's things that you're going to have to say no to so that you can start to say yes to yourself. And so nothing is too grand, nothing is too big. Like, whatever it is that you want, you desire it for a reason. Okay. And so my challenge for you is to make a list and be bold about, what do you want for your life? Number two is, once you define what you want, I want you to say it out loud. Tell the universe, I want this. So y'all, I was like, I'm going to see Beyonce. I don't know how, again, I don't know when, well, I hoped when in New Orleans, but I don't know how, but I'm going to see her. The same thing with Essence Fest. One day I will speak at Essence Fest. And the thing about that is that because I'm so bold when I say it, I got people believing in it. People already like, all right, just let me know when it's going to happen so I can have my ticket, because I'm going to be in the front row watching you. I have so many people that have said that to me, right? Another thing is that I'm very bold when I say, one day I'm going to be traveling the world speaking and sharing what I know to be true about transforming your life. I don't know. Well, actually, I do. I'm already starting that. I went to North Carolina last year. I'm going to Columbus, and I'm just doing the work on my own. And then I feel like as I do the work on my own, opportunities are going to open up for me. But I'm doing the work. I'm speaking it and I'm doing it. And so I suggest that once you make this list, you read it daily, you say it out loud, you record yourself saying it, you tell other people, like, yep, this is going to happen. And everybody ain't got to believe it. It ain't for them to believe. It's for you to believe. But just saying it gives you more, I guess, it helps you believe in yourself more when you say it out loud. Because then you start to connect with it and believe, like, oh, well, this is what I want. This is what I'm saying I want. It's going to happen one day. Number three is that once you define what you want and once you start saying it, you got to get to work. So again, with me saying that I want to speak and travel the world sharing my message, I'm doing the work now by hosting my own events. So every single month, by hosting the Be Free meetups, by speaking at conferences and events whenever I'm asked, by kicking off this tour and going to Columbus and then trying to get to other cities. I'm doing the work now. So God can already see I'm not playing. I know what I want, and I'm going to give you something to work with. So I'm going to get started with what I want to do, and then you can make it bigger because you've already seen that I committed to it. All right. So you got to get to work on it. You can't just hope and wish for something to happen. You have to start doing the work to make it happen. Number 4 is that you have to believe and trust the journey. So this will not be easy by any means. And sometimes you may even feel like it's not working because it's not happening when you want it to happen. But you just have to trust and believe that it will. And then leave it up to the universe, God, all of that for it to come to become your reality. So life will happen. You are going to face many ups and downs, ebbs and flows, failures. There's going to be lessons learned, but at the end of it, you're going to have a story to tell. Like I'm able to tell you this story today about how I manifested Beyonce in my life, right? You're going to have something to share, and it's going to happen in the right moment when you're ready for it. Sometimes we ask for things prematurely, but there's a lot of work that has to get done before you're able to receive it, right? And I'll share this again, and I've shared it on the podcast before. I was begging and begging and begging God, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? I was asking for it prematurely because I had to heal first. There was a lot of emotional and mental baggage that I have been carrying that God said, I can't give you this purpose yet because you're not going to be ready for it. Because a broken person cannot help other people that are broken. I had to get healed and confident in my own skin and what I was doing first before God can say, okay, here's your purpose. And I share this too, that Be Free had already been birthed in me years and years and years before I even knew it. And I was journaling and I was writing like, God, I just want to be free. I just want to be free. Not knowing that Be Free Project will one day be my purpose and my vision and my business. But I gave God something to work with because I said, okay, first I'm going to get the healing. I'm going to go to therapy. Then I'm going to start to do the self-work on myself by figuring out, okay, well, what do I want? And then I'm going to take steps, right? I'm not going to be fearful, or I'm going to do it afraid, and I'm going to start doing things so you have something to work with. How can God move in your life and give you the desires of your heart if you're not doing anything? And so anybody that knows me, and y'all too here on the podcast, I am very action-based. I do what I say that I'm going to do. And I don't know all the answers. I don't have everything figured out. But what I do know is that I have been created for this. I just did a whole podcast on this very topic. I have been created for this. I am in my moment. Actually, I am just getting started because God is about to open up so many doors for me and so many opportunities, right? Because I'm manifesting what I want. I'm believing that it can happen. I'm speaking life over it. I'm sharing it, and I'm doing the work. So know that, and I've had a lot of things in my life happen that I'm like, this is hard. This is hard. This is hard. And this is not a life I would have chose for myself. But the good outweighs the bad things or those difficult moments. And so know that the journey won't be easy. You have to trust the process and believe that what is meant for you is for you, and you have to keep going anyway. And then you need a community, you need a tribe, you need someone that when you're having those discouraging moments that can say, hey girl, I got you. So if you don't have a community, if you don't have a tribe, definitely I want you to look into the Be Free Inner Circle, because that is a community of women who they're doing everything that I'm talking about on this podcast and all the other episodes. And then they're able, obviously, to get coaching from me and resources and all that jazz. But you need a tribe. You need a tribe. You need people. You need people in your life that's going to be there for you, that can believe in you and push you when you don't feel like pushing yourself. And then the last thing that I want to say, number 5, is to be open to receive. So this is something that I have to work on. So when Brittany brought up, she was like, she wants to see Beyonce in New Orleans and give us your Cash App right now. I was in such like what is happening right now? Like, what is my life, right? And I wasn't being open and ready to receive because I felt like, I'm just giving. I don't have an expectation behind this. However, what God is placing in my heart more and more is that I have to be open and ready to receive whatever someone wants to pour into me. And if I don't allow that to happen, I'm blocking something to happen in that person's life. Like, I don't know what God put on their heart that they want to sow into others or whatever that may be, right? So for instead of me saying, getting uncomfortable and feeling like, man, that's okay, you don't have to do that. No, thank you, more please. Thank you, more please. And that's what the ladies was like, just say thank you and let us bless you, And so this number 5 is for me, to be open and ready to receive and willing to receive and not getting uncomfortable because someone wants to give to you. And so I'm working on that. And right now I'm going to keep saying it out loud that I am open to receive whatever God has for me. And if anyone wants to, whatever, support in any kind of way, I am open to that. And thank you. And be okay with that and not feeling some kind of way. And I think there's something, and this is probably a whole nother podcast episode, but we as women, sometimes we feel like, oh no, or we shy down from our gifts and what we bring to the world and our value versus just allowing the universe to like pour into us and use other people to do that. So that's number 5, to be open and ready to receive and say thank you in advance. And y'all, this is the amazing part. People are still giving. Because I did a post about this on Facebook and Instagram about, this event and going to see Beyonce and a ticket and all that jazz. And people are still giving. And I'm looking at my Cash App and I still see people like, here, enjoy a soda on me. And I'm like, wow. So this is me saying, if you want, to Cash App me or PayPal me and say, you know what, here's just, I want to pour into you and give you $5, $10, enjoy your trip, whatever, you can do that. So my Cash App is Be Free Project. And the same thing with my PayPal is Be Free Project, or it's my email, Siobhan at BeFreeProject.com. And so I'm just putting it out there, no pressure, but I'm just saying it. All right. Tell God what you want, right? And I am going to have an amazing time at the Here We Go retreat in New Orleans in a couple of weeks. So this week, instead of giving you an action step or homework, I want to share a quote with you that ties this all together. Keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behaviors. Keep your behaviors positive because your behaviors become your habits. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. And that quote is by Gandhi. And so in all of this, I want you to be positive with the way that you think. I want you to meditate on the things that you want. Get clear about that. Start speaking it out loud. And then watch the universe give you what you want as you do the work. So I hope that was helpful. As always, if you have questions, you can totally reach out to me. The best way to do that is by following the Girl Be Free podcast page on Instagram, and you can give your feedback to the episode and all that jazz. I have a couple of events coming up that I need to share. August 25th, I will be in Columbus, Ohio at Zora's house teaching a workshop from stuck to unstoppable. There are tickets available. So I'll put the link to that in the show notes. Also, September 22nd, I will be having a Be Free meetup in Cleveland, Ohio, which is sponsored by the Greater Cleveland Urban Film Festival. So that is going to be happening on September 22nd. I'll put the link to both of those in the show notes, as well as I will put my Cash App and my PayPal in the show notes as well. So if anytime you want to donate, support, you say, hey, I love the podcast. I love what you're doing. Here's $5, here's $10, here's $100, whatever. That will be available for you. And I totally appreciate it. And I just want to say, as always, continue to share this podcast with your friends, with your peeps on social media. If you're getting any value from it, you can always leave a review on Apple Podcast and just continue to get the word out, and please always know that I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I am very grateful for what I get to do, as I said in the very beginning of this episode. And my hope is that you're not just listening, but you're applying what I'm sharing and watching your life transform before your eyes. Again, you can always join me in the Be Free Inner Circle, where I've built a community of women all over the world, helping them, again, go from feeling stuck to being unstoppable in their life. And it is a membership, and you can become a member today. The link for that will be in the show notes as well. So until next time, girl, be free. Thank you so much for listening. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling really fancy, go ahead and leave a review. Until next time, be free and live.